Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Gridiron Gallery. I'm your host, Zach Heilman, here as always for the show. Joining me today, I got a very special guest in, someone that I very much have admired since I've started doing this podcast. Back when I was starting out with the Arena Football League circle, we have Fabian Guerra in today. Many of you may have known him. He's the Rookie of the Year from the 2019 Arena Football League season. He was signed with the Montreal Alouettes for this year. Unfortunately, that had to change, but we're glad to have him in for an interview and just get to discuss a lot of things about his career and also the future for him as well. Fabian, welcome into the show. Where are you at exactly? It looks like a great scenery you got there.
I'm actually in Miami, Florida, in my backyard, and enjoying the weather.
Well, it looks fantastic. I mean, I wish I was in Miami too. I wish I could go on vacation. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad you got a nice place to be sitting down and ready to talk some football and talk about your career in general. And tell you what, let's get some things started here. In particular, when I talk with any player, I always like to know about the backstory of the said player. I think the stories of players in any league are some of the most fascinating things that you can have, and they make for great content in particular. But I want to know your personal story. What's your background? Where'd you get the love of the game from?
So my grandparents, all four of my grandparents were born in Cuba. They all migrated over here when they were in their teens. So I'm full Cuban, hence the last name Guerra.
All right.
So I'm full Cuban, and then my dad played high school ball. He actually got a scholarship to play college ball. Got a little bit of trouble, and he gave that passion to me. And since I was 4 years old, he faked my birth certificate so I could play with the 5-year-olds.
No kidding.
Yeah. So he's an awesome dad. He's kind of a nutcase a little, but yeah, he's an awesome dad. And he put me in the game when I was 4 years old, and I've been holding a football ever since. And I fell in love with the game. And yeah, he's the one that helped me with my career, helped me with a passion, and yeah.
That's insane. See, that's stuff that I always find so fascinating. Everyone's journey into football is completely different. You know, I mean, I never got past high school, but I can tell you what, so many high school stories just in my own local high school, it's the same. You get stuff just like that. But I mean, crazy, and glad that you were able to make that journey along the way and you were able to get in to football one way or another. So high school, obviously you got enough attention where you did get a college scholarship. You did end up what was the draw for you? I mean, how many asked you or kind of recruited you to come in?
So I actually had 0 scholarships coming out of high school. We had the number 1 receiver in Miami on my team.
Okay.
Bobo Wilson. He played for Tampa, and he's currently with the Panthers. So he was on my team. So he got most of the love. And my head coach told me I would never go to play football in college, and if I do, it would be for a Division III school. So I was like, all right. I said, yeah, thanks, coach, but please don't help me with the process no more. I'll take over. So I actually I knew a guy from Florida State football camp. I went over there with my best friend Bobo, and their GA was a coach at the time. I got his number.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, coach, I don't have no teams looking at me right now. Can you take he was at Fairmont State. He got the job after Florida State. He went to Fairmont State. So I sent him a text. I said, look, can you give me a shot? And he said, look, Fabian, we have no money. You could come as a walk-on and earn a spot. I said, perfect, I'll be there. So I went to little Fairmont State in West Virginia, and I left everything behind, and I said, I'm gonna do it.
Hey, you seem to make the most of it, though. I mean, 2 All-East and nominations. That's pretty impressive for
3
conference. 3. Just good to double check me here. I mean, I made sure to try and get as many stats as I could, and I apologize if I say anything wrong. But
you're good.
Even more impressive, 3 years All-East, obviously, and you've proven your worth. Not only do you have those nominations, but you got tape, and I think one of the most impressive tape that you have on the internet right now, and it's on your profile. People still comment on it. I still see people retweet even right now. It's the catch. Go through the catch. What was the scenario for that?
So yeah, it was crazy. Imagine a walk-on in West Virginia. I started as a freshman. I earned a full scholarship as a freshman. And I didn't put that – I had 300 yards. I didn't really have a good year. And then my sophomore year, first game, I shattered the receiving yard record. 247 yards, my first sophomore game. And then the second game, I get this crazy catch. So I went from a walk-on to a full scholarship to breaking records to the catch. And then I'm on ESPN, NFL Network. Des Bryant's reaching out to me. The whole world's reaching out to me. So I went from a little D2 walk-on to getting all this publicity. And, yeah, it was just the catch was like, it was crazy. It's weird because every day in practice I work on my one-handed catches. People are like, why do you work on your one-handed catches? I said, you never know when you're going to use it.
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to know if you have to go up with one hand. And I usually don't go up with one hand. I just had to that time. So yeah, I think that working on my one-hand catches prepared me for that moment. My hand was trapped in, and I had to jump up with one hand, and I was prepared for it. So yeah, I mean, people think it's luck, but I practice those scenarios in my head every single day. What would happen what happens if this happens? If this happens, and my goal is never to drop a pass. You saw me in arena. You saw me always. My goal is to be a sure-handed receiver and come down with everything. So that's always my goal: run perfect routes and come up with the catch.
And I imagine that's easily on your reel, if anything. I mean, that's arguably the most impressive catch I've ever seen. I would say it rivals OBJ, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it happened a week apart from each other, so that was.
And I know, right? That's crazier still. But it's funny you jumped my question. What does it take to get that flexibility? Like, what kind of workout does it take to get the flexibility and adjustment for the ball besides just maybe catching one-handed?
If you see my Instagram, you will actually laugh because I'm on a Bosu ball catching one-handed passes. I'm in the jug machine catching over the side passes, and then a week later you see me make this crazy catch. So it's like, wow, like he has 5 videos right before the catch preparing for that moment. And just like that, it happens. And yeah, it's crazy because everybody's like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? That would never happen in a game. I said, trust me. It's good. Trust me. This is why I'm doing it. This is why. And it happened. It's just crazy how you speak it to existence sometimes.
Right. And hey, have you ever seen arena football? But that obviously not everyone has. But we'll get to your arena football side. I actually want to jump up to your Alliance of American Football days. Here's the thing. The Alliance kind of got me some backstory into the spring football craze, as some people have. And in particular, you were on the Memphis Express, which backstory for me, I'm a Chicago Bears fan. Mike Singletary was the head coach of that roster, so I kind of had a little special piece of my heart there, just him being the legend that he is. What was it like working under Mike Singletary, or at least under his coaching regime?
Well, you're gonna love this story. So I used to send everybody from the AAF film highlight tapes. They all ignored me. Okay. Mike Singletary, I used to send them film at 3 a.m. For 3 weeks straight, I used to send them film at 3 a.m. Maybe one day he'll answer me, and one day maybe he'll wake up, get a glass of water. I used to think whatever. Maybe he'll wake up, maybe he'll look at his phone and see an email from Fabian Guerra. So for 3 weeks, I sent him an email at 3 a.m. And one day he answered me. The craziest thing, he said, love your tape, Fabian. We'll keep in contact. Here's my number. Reach out to me. And then I reached out to him, and I was hanging out with my uncle and my dad, and Mike Singletary called me. And then my dad and uncle were freaking out. They were like, who's calling you? I was like, Mike Singletary. They were freaking out. They were like, Mike Singletary, like, Dill Mike. I was like, yeah. And then so Mike Singletary called me and told me that that Coach Lee is working out a quarterback. Mm-hmm. He said, I would like for you to go to this park and show what you have. So I went to the park and I stowed the show, and I got a contract right on the spot.
That's amazing.
It was an amazing story. It was meant to be. They were working out in Miami, Florida, and 10 minutes away. So I was working out, and I stopped to pick up the phone, and he said, "Can you meet me at this park? Can you meet Coach Lee at this park?" And I said, "I'm on my way. I'll be there right now." And I stowed the show, and I got a contract offer, and yeah. But working with Mike Singletary he's such an awesome guy. How he attacks every day. He's he brings fire to anybody's eyes. The way he talks is like, wow, like yeah, I have so much respect for him, and we still keep in contact. So it's pretty cool. He's an amazing guy.
That's amazing to have that connection. And, you know, I would definitely, if I was in your situation, I'd love to be working under a player's coach, as you will. I bet that was a really good scenario and amazing story. Just, you know, sometimes adversity, you got to work through it. You know, that's exactly what that was with the tape. What is your favorite memory with your days in Memphis? I mean, I've never been to the city of Memphis myself. I've heard a lot of great things about Grind City, but you have any particular thing that stands out, either a game or maybe just time in the city itself?
Yeah, just being in the hotel with the guys and how we all bonded. It was Johnny Manziel was across the room from me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It was just a crazy experience having like just having all the guys together in a hotel in Memphis. And then practicing with these guys, and most of them played in the league. So I was just excited that my talent shows. All these guys played in the league. I haven't got a shot in the league, and I'm competing or doing better than them. So it was just an eye-opener that I do have what it takes to play in the league. If I'm outperforming some of these guys, and like, it shows that I belong to be here, and it's not that I'm just crazy. I'm supposed to be here.
Absolutely. I would be a little. I mean, it's a little different for me. I know you've been around many more players. I'd be starstruck if Manziel was across the hall from me, I guess. But you know, that is a good point. You know, you are showing that you are at the right level and that you are putting out the right talent to get to the place you want to go. Looking back overall at your Alliance experience, did you say it was rewarding? Or I know the league ended in an ugly way, and some of the players, many of the players actually were burned by it. How do you look back at it as a whole?
Oh, it was definitely rewarding. I was the 90th person signed to training camp, the last of the last spot signed, and they only kept 50 guys, and I was one of those 50 guys. So that just speaks volumes right there that that they're not gonna keep the 90th player. That means I was just there for a camp body. So that means that I woke everybody's eyes up, and we can't let this guy go. We don't know his name, but we can't let him go.
Right.
So just like every week, cut 10 people. I'm the 80th person now. They cut 10 more people. I'm the 70th person, and then 60, and then 50. That was just like, to me, I was born to do this. Like they're not gonna keep me if I was a 90th person if I didn't have the ability. So like, people say it wasn't rewarding, but I think it was rewarding. Our team wasn't that good. Our passing was a little different. I mean, I don't know. It was just a weird scenario, but I know that I proved myself, and I tell everybody, if I wasn't good, they would have not kept me. I was a 90th person brought in. If I wasn't meant to be there and be on the team, they would have not kept me. So like, I showed that I belong there, and I proved it every day. And yeah, it was definitely rewarding. It just opened my eyes. Like, damn, like, before that I was like, I'm a D2 guy. Maybe the talent's different, but then you go to the AF and everybody's a first a round pick, a draft pick, or played in the NFL for most. Charles James, he played for 4 years. Yeah. So just being around guys that been in the league, and you're beating them, is just like, oh, I'm supposed to be here. So I think it was a big eye opener, like that the league happened. So I was happy that it happened. So
yeah, I can understand that point of view too. Gives you more tape as well, an opportunity to show other coaches, especially since Singletary in general and his staff, a lot of them were with the NFL. So I could see that side of it being completely understandable. Speaking of, you know, undrafted free agent, which would be yourself, what is it like when you come out of college? Just the process of trying to see what your opportunities are. Say, for example, a D2 player like yourself. What were your first steps, or what did you experience at the time?
Yeah, it was definitely rough. I mean, any D2 player would say, D3 player would say, it's really rough for us. We get overlooked, and yeah, just finding an agent, it's hard. Trying to get in contact with teams is hard. You really have to do numbers in college, like, which I did, and even doing numbers like that, you have to be 6'4", like, do crazy stuff. So I got overlooked in 2017. I didn't play in 2017, and then I had to take a different route. It was either hang it up or take it a different route, and just just in my blood. I don't know what give up is. So I took a different route. I went with Carolina Cobras, got Rookie of the Year in that league, got hit up Mike Singletary, got signed. So every year I keep progressing. I know I took the long road, which yeah, it was definitely hard, but like it's definitely worth it. And I showed every professional level. I put numbers up and I performed, and I'm supposed to be here.
Absolutely. You definitely were proving it even before the Alliance, which is why I'm going to take a step back here. You mentioned the Carolina Cobras. In particular, arena football in general, you've been very much well-versed in at this point. First off, let's go back to signing in the NAL. Because in the communities, the NAL and the AFL are considered much different levels. What differences did you notice between your two rookie seasons, besides maybe just a few rule changes, like maybe personnel, staffing, or just things like that?
Yeah, I mean, the talent, there's talent everywhere. In football, there's talent everywhere.
Truth.
You could tell you could tell in the AFL there was a little more talented players, but not a whole big difference. The O-line and D-line were definitely way bigger. In the AFL, they're way bigger. But yeah, the talent was very similar. There's the speed is a little faster. The DBs cover a little better, but it's football. You're gonna find talent everywhere. That's why AFL usually recruits all the NAL players, because that's where they get their talent from. It's the bread. And then you get guys like me, Malachi, Keontae. We're all from the NAL. So yeah, AFL recruits NAL. So
understandable. Now, your big splash, I think, really came in the Arena Football League. I would say. I mean, you got on the scene with the Alliance, a lot more exposure to the Alliance, but your Arena Football League breakout year in 2019 really, I think, put you on the map. Take us through going in with that new expansion team that was in Columbus. And was it just the drive of the Alliance collapsing that got you really pumped up to say, I'm going to make this shot in the Arena Football League?
Yeah, after the Alliance, how it ended, I had a bad taste in my mouth. I was inactive the last, I think, 2 games, and then it folded. I was like, I can't go out like this. I have to join the AFL, and it was a crazy week. I think the league folded April 7th. I went to Miami for 2 days. I went to North Carolina, and then I went back to Ohio. And it was a rough week for me. And then Coach Salk in Columbus took me in, and I fell in love with the city. Ohio is the greatest place I've ever been to in my life. It was amazing. The fans there, they treat you awesome, and yeah, it was an awesome experience. And yeah, I worked too hard, and I wanted to show, like, it wasn't like I really do this. Like I'm passionate, and every day you're gonna get the best out of me. So I had to go to the AFL and prove that it wasn't just a show. I really do this, and everything I earned and I get is earned. It's worked for.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. The Columbus community in particular, you really sparked up a lot of interest, I think, in the league again with just your performances out there. One super fan in particular that I know definitely liked talking to you during kickoffs is one Dogman by that name. Anything that really stuck out to you with some of those talks before kicks?
Oh, Dogman's great. He used to talk to me the ball's in the air. He said, "Return it, Fabian, return it." While the ball's in the air, I'm like, I hear you. So yeah, Dogman is an awesome guy. He says, he used to say, you're gonna take it to the house, you're gonna score and he's an awesome guy. Just the way he used to interact with me in the middle of the play. But I love people like that care for the players and cares about the community and cares about the team. So yeah, he's an awesome guy, and we still stay in contact. I sent him one of my rookie cards just the other day, and
right.
He's a good guy. So yeah, I'm glad I was able to meet him.
I've always wondered this myself with play, because you specialize a lot in the return game as well as in the receiving game. So how difficult is it to catch a return off of a rebound net?
Yeah, I just so first of all, I try to expand my talents. I was known in D2 as a receiver. I was the main receiver, so they didn't really use me on kickoff, on kick return, on punt return, because I was the main guy.
Mm-hmm.
So scouts said, get kickoff film, get kick return film. So at Ohio, I was like, let me get my film. I never returned. I never tackled. I never did none of that. So in Ohio, for Columbus, I wanted to show that I could do that. It was my first. I think my first return was a touchdown against Baltimore.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just shows you that anything I put my mind to, I could do it. And catching kicks off the net was a big. I was like, so you got to catch it and then turn around. But yeah, it was definitely a big change for me. I didn't expect it, but yeah, it was if you could return kicks off the nets, you could return regular kicks. So it was an awesome and I loved it.
I stated several times during that season that for guys like yourself or Malachi Jones, if you can catch a ball off a wall, you can catch a ball anywhere. What other adjustments in arena did you have to kind of get on the fly, maybe when you first joined in the NAL, just some of the basics of the game? Because I know there's a few things that are different, for example, like the motion for the receivers and things like that.
Yeah, in the motion you have to – sometimes you got to slow down. Sometimes it's weird. Sometimes you have to look over in corners, you have to look over the wrong shoulder to catch the ball sometimes. Right. So it was just a lot of adjustments. When I got to arena and Cobras are like, you're too fast. You're too fast. You're taking yourself out of the play every play. And yeah, in goal line, you can't be fast. You have to be patient. So it was just a lot of things you can't. I'm used of being doing everything full speed. So in arena, you really can't do everything full speed. You have to slow down and make something happen. So yeah, I think that was one of the biggest adjustments. Everything else is football. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just football. Do what you do best and get open, make catches, make plays, and do what you've been doing your whole life.
Right. Well, and you made plenty enough plays. Like I said, you landed Rookie of the Year on the team with the lowest record in the league, unfortunately. But, still was an impact player. Was one of the best in the league. And it landed you and Malachi Jones in particular. Both of you ended up on the Montreal Alouettes earlier this year when things were still on the up and up. Now, what's the process of going to Canada for a player? I have one friend in particular plays in the Czech Republic as a quarterback, so I kind of get some of I know there's some paperwork involved as well for visas in particular for the Czech Republic. What's it like with going across the border up north?
So actually, I signed back in December. We really didn't get to do anything because the virus. I went to a mini camp in Montreal back in March, actually 4 days before the virus happened. So I almost got locked up in Montreal. But, I visited Montreal. I had an amazing time. I had a little mini camp with the guys. All the receivers, all the quarterbacks were out there. And, just getting through the borders was pretty – they ask you a billion questions. They have you – so, yeah, that was a mission. But, yeah, as far as visa, we didn't get through that process yet.
Okay. So you were still mid-process visa. All right.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I was just visiting.
Yeah, you're still locked up with everything. Coronavirus obviously had affected the CFL, and I guess it's unfortunate that you did get this opportunity, and then all of a sudden we have our world in a completely different way that we have been, a new normal as it's been phrased. What were the players' vibes with the CFL? Any of those that you were interacting with at the time? Because it seemed like it went through stages as the summer went on, where there was a lot of confidence. Then there was negotiations with the CFLPA, and then there was talks with the government. What was any of the players you talked to? What was the vibe, at least overall?
I mean, I used to talk to my agent every day. Any updates? And it's just frustrating. I signed back in December. I turned down some XFL I turned down some things to sign with the CFL. So it was just frustrating how we didn't really get used throughout the whole process. It was like, we're going to have a season. And it was just frustrating because a person like me needs this opportunity to get where I want to be. So I was training, working hard, because I'm not going to take this opportunity for granted. I'm going to be ready. If we're going to have a season, you're going to get everything out of me. I'm going to train 3 times a day. I'm going to study my playbook. You're going to get Fabian Guerra ready.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just frustrating how you prepare for 8 months. I signed back in December. You prepare for 8 months. It's August, and then they cancel the season. So yeah, I kind of said some stuff on Twitter that it's how I felt. I was not disrespecting nobody. If you know me as a person, whoever knows me as a person knows that I don't say a word on the football field. Anything. I go in and go to work. I show up an hour early and I leave an hour after. I don't say a word. I just imagine if you have a goal in your mind and you're going to play in the CFL, you're going to shatter records there, and then you're going to the NFL, and then and something happens that you can't control. This is not my fault. If I get cut from something I did, then I would accept it. I'll accept it, but I can't control the virus. So I spoke out this past week, and I said exactly what's on my mind. I hope no one took it personally. I hope no one, because I'm not a disrespectful person at all. I just said exactly how I feel. I'm a confident person. All I need is a shot, and you're gonna get the most out of me.
Fair enough. And I should actually clarify. You was your contract for 2 years? Just before I ask this next question.
Yes.
Right.
Montreal still has my rights.
Okay. So I guess just as we lead in, you know I was going to ask this. Why'd you opt out?
I figured my last game was August 1st. I'm not going to sit out 2 whole years. And I think this is the best opportunity with having professional film in 3 different professional leagues. I think this is my best shot. I'm 25. I'm in the best shape of my life. I think this is the best shot for me to stick with the NFL team, put me on practice squad, let me learn, groom me, and let me become the slot punt returner you need. I think this is the perfect time. I'm a return man. I'm a kickoff. I'm a guy that's gonna get the job done. You're gonna get everything out of me. So I thought this was the right time to opt out and show that I belong there. If somebody gives me a workout and I could prove it, then yeah, they're gonna get a gem. I believe.
I think you'd be right as well. And you know what? I think just with the situation you're in, it's not a bad choice. Obviously, you're not the only one that opted out of a CFL contract. So, you know, there's other opportunities that could be out there. I do want to ask about the XFL, but just because I am curious, I know you've been trying to get talks with any NFL tryouts, and they've been giving tryouts for players. What's the latest status between you and your agent on, say, NFL tryouts or anything in particular?
Actually, an XFL coach hit me up recently.
No kidding.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's always I always have options, and I'm always open for options, and I'm going to make the most out of every situation. And I'm grateful for any opportunity. Like I said, Montreal and CFL, I'm blessed they gave me a shot. They gave a D2 walk-on a shot. I had to go through arena. I had to go through the AF. I had to go through AFL. I had to go through stages, and I don't want to have no hard feelings with the CFL. I'm blessed, and I hope they understand that. I just want to live my dream. If it's for 15 minutes, if it's for an hour, I just want to live my dream. I hope they understand that, and if they don't, then it's okay. And yeah, so the XFL reached out to me a couple of days ago. A coach particular. Okay. So I mean, I always have that option, but right now I'm focusing on the NFL. I know. I hope I have enough film to get a workout. I mean, I didn't get a workout 4 years ago. Let me get it now. I have pro film. I have college film. I have everything. So I think it wouldn't hurt to give me a workout. So right now my agent is focusing on getting me a workout, and he's been talking to a few teams. So hopefully some good news in the next couple of days.
And we're hoping all the same, honestly. You've been proving yourself quite a bunch in these last 3 years. I definitely think it's time for a guy like yourself to be due. Crazy. I was going to say, you jumped the gun on my XFL question, because that's nuts. You have a coach already calling you on that. So just to clarify, you would be interested, say, if the XFL did finally get itself in order and they wanted you to come in, you would consider that?
Yes, I will. I was considering it last year. I didn't get drafted, and then CFL called right after the draft day, and then XFL called a week after. So I signed a week before, like, you know what I'm trying to. I signed a week. Yeah. So I said you're just a week too late, but but I mean, everything happens for a reason. I wish I would have. I mean, I can't say I wish I would have signed with. I mean, waited a little, but everything happens for a reason. But yeah, I will consider it. You know, I'll go anywhere. I've been in Ohio. I've been in North Carolina. I've been West Virginia. So I just want to play football and show and belong there. And if that's what it takes for me to get to the NFL, I'm still in the right. If you think about it, if I play in the XFL in January, I get out in May, I'm still in the same process to get to the NFL. I'm still going to be 25 by May, and I'm still in the right goals mind.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Apologize for interrupting you, by the way.
No, you're fine.
But yeah, so that's okay. So yeah, you do have options. And that's nice to hear. And we do wish you the best. Obviously, trying to get an NFL opportunity. Of course, we wish you the best in getting to that top level. Before we go, I give everyone I interview a chance for this. I give everyone a final word. What do you have to say for maybe fans that you've run into over the years, or maybe just family, anyone in particular, or just something you want to spread along?
What do you mean? Like just like?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, just like say, thank you, maybe thanks for the support, I don't know if you just something that's maybe informational for players out there that were in your situation.
Oh yeah, I would say if a guy like me with 0 offers, 5'6", 125 pounds, 5'7", 125 pounds, if I can do it, I feel like anybody, if you put your mind to it and you do what you got to do on and off the field, because I'm a guy that does everything right on and off the field. If the coach's eyes are on me or if they're off me, I'm still going to – they know in their mind that I'm doing the right thing always. I'm not out partying. I'm not out drinking. I'm not out smoking. I'm in my room studying the plays, doing everything the right way. So I don't think any coach has ever had that doubt in their mind. I do everything the right. So I feel like any kid, any professional that's ever doubting something, that they look at me and they say, if I can do it, they can do it. I feel like I give a lot of people hope. In the last week, I got over 500 DMs, 500. Nice. It's been a crazy week, and I'm glad I'm an inspiration. I didn't say anything on Twitter that I didn't mean. I was speaking straight out of my heart, out of a little bit of frustration, but it was out of my heart, and it's exactly how I feel. And I just want to give kids out there hope, and if you had to speak out for what you want in life, to speak out.
I love that message, and I'm glad that we have had this conversation. Definitely, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining me on the show today, really.
No problem, Zach. Thanks for having me.
It's no problem. Be sure, by the way, to follow Fabian Guerra on any of his social media. What are your user tags, by the way, just so I can spread that?
So on Instagram, it's Fabian Guerra Jr., and then on Twitter, it's Fabian Guerra _86.
All right. Be sure to follow those accounts. Trust me, he's definitely a talented individual and definitely has some great things to say on the leagues that he has been in and his journey in particular. As for Gridiron Gallery, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at ZK Podcast. You can follow me as well for my personal account at Zach Kyleman. Plenty of takes on indoor football, CFL, NFL, in between. For Fabian Guerra, I'm Zach Kyleman saying so long. Thank you very much for tuning into this edition of Gridiron Gallery, and stay tuned.